Yo, what's up Cities 2 fanatics, and welcome to a tips and tricks video on Cities Skylines 2. In today's video, I'm going to give you some tips, tricks, and insights you may not have known about, so let's get building. Tip number 1, if you want to have key walls on your roads, highly recommend you drop the elevation step all the way down, and as soon as you hit that 5-meter mark, you can have these key walls on your roads. You could do that all the way up to 7.5 meters, and if you go one click higher, you will notice that it turns into a bridge, and it will be a bridge. So 7.5 is the magic number for that. If you do want to have key walls on your shorelines, I recommend you go to 3.75 meters, because you see how it changes, because that will give you zoning squares on one side and the key walls on the other side. Now, if you go higher, you still have the key walls, but as you can see, no zoning squares. Now, if you play your cards right, you can potentially get zoning squares with 5 meters of height. There we go. You can see the big bubble appearing. That means zoning squares will be there. So it has to be a certain angle. You got to play around with that, and there we go. We also have the zoning squares. It looks a bit scrunched up though. I do recommend, if you want to have key walls with zoning squares on the other side, use the 3.75 meter increment in height. It's very, very smooth and it works like a charm. Tip number 2, even pedestrian pathways have key walls. Again, drop your elevation step and you can already see, there we go. We can take that up to 3.75 because at 5 meters, you will get a bridge. So 3.75 is the magic number here, if you will. Of course, you can also have those on shorelines if you want to be a bit more careful with this. There you go. And I do think this makes for very, very nice visuals. Getting smooth highway ramps is not that big a deal. Obviously, what you can do is simply connect your highway ramps just like so. It works like a charm, very, very smooth. However, we can do that a bit better. Before you connect your highway on or off ramp to your highway, to your existing highway, grab a road that has one lane more, upgrade your highway, and you can already see it will create this sort of a slip lane right here. Go to your on or off ramp and just look at how much more smooth this is with this very nice on ramp onto the highway. Super, super amazing. Small detail, but it can make a big difference for your highway interchange. Poop water. Yes, indeed. This is the pollution from my sewage outlet that I had in the very beginning of my city. I took it out as soon as I have unlocked the water treatment plant in the development tree, water and sewage right here. Then I took out the sewage outlet and placed the water treatment plant right here, gave it all of the upgrades. That was a couple of seasons ago in Flyvoxington, and we still have this sewage issue in air quotes. It's not really an issue, but it's like kind of a nasty spot in the city. It just won't go away. So that's what I recommend. As soon as you can, unlock the water treatment plant. It does take 2 development points to unlock, so you won't reach that on your first milestone. You'll only get 1, so you'll have to wait until the second milestone where you get another 2 development points. In total, you'll have 3. Highly recommend unlock the water treatment plant as soon as possible and take out this nasty sewage outlet as soon as possible. Import your power in the beginning. In order to save money, you can import your power from the start. In the start of your city, every start has these power lines here, which you can simply connect with either underground power lines or you can go with above ground power lines. All you have to do is get your transformer station, place it down, and then grab your power lines, connect your transformer station, and boom, that is how you import power, and that can sustain your city for quite some time, actually for all eternity, but at some point it will drain your money, and then you will have to work with some alternative power sources in your city to produce your own power, maybe even export it and sell it to generate some more income. It's actually a good segue into my next tip. Don't worry too much about your funds when starting a city. You get a lot of cash when reaching these first milestones, 600,000 credits for the first one and 700,000 for the second one, and so on. It just keeps on raising. The more milestones you run along, you can unlock those, of course, with XP instead of the number of citizens living in your city. And it's very, very easy to, in the beginning, build your entire road layout that you've envisioned, you probably will not run out of money. Combine that with the power saving tip of importing power first, and you will be golden for the start of your city. Did you know that roundabouts change according to your roads? That's right, since we cannot actively choose which road a roundabout is, just simply changes with the roads that you connect. So we have this highway roundabout here because it's highway roads. Then we have a regular roundabout because it's regular roads. We have just these regular roads, the roundabout will be the regular roads. Now if we go and upgrade these, the roundabout also upgraded to the roundabout. Let's go to the pedestrian roads now, just for the showcase. Pedestrian road roundabout only. That's just like something cool to know, I think. There you can see the roundabouts like kind of split up. We have a regular road, the highway road, the pedestrian road, and a dirt road, which the game, it does know what to do, sort of. It's a bit tricky, but it definitely does its job like that. And boom, we have a dirt road roundabout. Next up, the angled building. If you are left with a space like that, you want to place a service building, try doing this the next time. Grab your road, get the curved road, draw out a curve, go to an alleyway, select straight roads, and simply do this. This road is now connected. Manor Lane is connected with Evergreen Street, and what we can now do is grab a service building, and would you look at that? This is such a cool design, and I do think this makes for very interesting layouts. Play around with that. This is obviously not super clean, but it's just like an example of what you can do. This is something I like to do in my cities. I've got this tip from Joy Build Cities, actually. Very fun YouTuber. I love to implement this tactic in my city. Just play around with that. It makes for a bit more interesting layouts. And simply grabbing the building and placing it on the road like this. Focus on grain farming. Grain is a very important resource. It does require fertile land to get harvested. Reason why it's so important, I just want to have a very quick look at the production tab so we can see grain right here. If you have a deficit, by the way, that means it's getting imported, and you can see on the right hand side that grain is used among other things for petrochemicals. Let's just have a look at the petrochemicals right here. The petrochemicals, I'm still importing a lot of this in this city. The petrochemicals is used for the consumers, for heating, electricity, and among other things for plastics and textile. Now let's look at plastics right here. We have plastics, which goes to consumers. It's also processing for electronics. Now let's have a look at electronics. Electronics is also sold to the consumers. It is also for software. Now let's go and have a look at software in the production tab. Software, right here it is, used for the industry, for offices, for telecommunications, for media, for finance. So you see, grain is in all of these goods, immaterial, material goods. It all starts with grain farming, and we are importing a lot of that. So it is always good to focus on the grain farming. Get your natural resources, get your bearings of the natural resources on your map, and start to lay out some farms. And that is where I'm going to leave you guys off. I really hope you enjoyed this little tips and tricks video. Let me know in the comments down below if you've known all of these tips. I would really love to hear from you guys. If you want to talk about this video or City Skylines in particular, jump on over to my Discord, the City of Friends Discord. It's a joint Discord I run with 5 other amazing builders / content creators. The link is in the description below. We're usually there hanging out talking about our beloved city building simulation. Also, if you didn't know, I'm running a City Skylines based podcast. It is right here on the screen now. Thank you all so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day, and please stay safe out there. Bye bye.